tell you something that most people don't want to hear. Just because someone hurt you doesn't mean they deserve your reaction. You don't owe anyone a performance of your pain. You don't owe anyone your tears, your rage, or your breakdown. Because the moment you react, you give them power. And darling, your power is too expensive to be spent on people who can't afford your worth. Your reaction is their fuel. And the moment you respond with emotion, anger, sadness, jealousy, rage, they know they've struck something deep in you. You may think you're defending your dignity. You may think you're setting the record straight. But what your dissimilarity is currently offending. It takes all kind of skill to punch a dense ball. And there are many, you could say 100, thousands of physical reactions that don't ever get old. Actually doing is giving them confirmation that they still matter, that they still have power over your emotions. And baby, that's the last thing you ever want to give someone who came only to hurt you. Imagine this. You're walking into your office. You're dressed sharply, confident, poised. And then out of nowhere, a coworker throws a snide remark. Oh, you're finally on time today. That's new. Now, you have two choices. Snap back, roll your eyes, let your heart race and your mood change. Or smile, say nothing, walk past like you didn't even hear it. Because in that moment, the most painful punishment you can give someone who's trying to rile you up is indifference, silence. You are not here to give everyone access to your energy. Reserve it, protect it, value it. Because not everyone deserves the fire that lives in you. When you react, they feed. They feed off your pain, your confusion, your need to explain yourself. They enjoy that you're burning inside while they sip satisfaction. You think you're proving your strength by clapping back, by showing them they can't mess with you. But real strength is when you don't even look their way. When they throw a storm and you remain the calm. That's terrifying to people because most expect you to break, most want you to break. But when you don't, they start to crumble. A woman once told me her ex spread rumors about her after she ended the relationship. She found out through friends. Everyone kept asking her, aren't you going to say something? You should defend yourself. But she didn't. Not a word. Not a whisper. You know what she did? She walked into every room with her head high, dressed like she owned the world, building her life, glowing. Months later, that same man came back, confessing how empty he felt without her. Not because she argued, not because she reacted, but because her silence screamed, "You're no longer relevant." And that's a language the ego cannot stand. People who want to hurt you aren't always loud. Sometimes they come as passive-aggressive friends, gossiping behind your back. Sometimes they're relatives who constantly compare you. Sometimes they're lovers who withdraw just to test you. And every time you run to confront, to argue, to justify, you hand over a piece of your peace. You lose a little bit of yourself in a war that was never worth fighting. You have to learn the power of the unbothered, of walking away without making noise, of choosing peace over performance. And I get it, it's not easy, especially when you're used to defending yourself, when your pride kicks in, when you want to scream, "I'm not who you think I am." But remember this, those who know your worth don't need explanations. And those who don't will never believe them anyway. Have you ever watched someone try so hard to provoke a reaction and they get nothing? It's frustrating, isn't it? Now flip that. Be that person. Be the calm storm. Be the person who doesn't react. Because you already know who you are. Because your silence is the answer that echoes the loudest. The real flex isn't saying something clever. It's not delivering a mic drop comeback. The real flex is when you keep it moving, like their words never touched you. Because once you stop dancing to the tune of people who try to play you, the music ends for you. And if it doesn't, you can also say that to them. It's just a mere mind game. The problem is when you say your piece never gets any better. The game stops. And they realize they lost access to the one thing they were trying to control, your emotional response. That's when you win. Quietly, completely, powerfully. Silence is not weakness, it's mastery. It's the art of knowing when your words are not needed, when your peace speaks louder than any explanation, when your stillness becomes your weapon. Society tells you, speak up, defend yourself, clap back. But what if I told you that silence, intentional, calm, collected silence, is often the loudest scream of all? Think about the moments when someone tried to provoke you, and you didn't give them what they were looking for. You didn't flinch. You didn't cry. You didn't react. You just looked at them with that quiet strength in your eyes. That moment, that's power. That's what silence really is. It's not the absence of a voice. It's the presence of control. I remember a girl in college, brilliant, beautiful, magnetic. She walked with grace. And because of that, some people were jealous. They whispered behind her back, created fake stories, tried to stain her name. Everyone expected her to explode, to confront, to shout. But she never did. She kept doing her thing, acing her classes, smiling, living her truth. One day, one of those girls finally asked her, "Why didn't you ever say anything?" She smiled and said, "Because the truth doesn't need my defense. My life is the proof." And that shook everyone. That's not weakness, that's mastery. You see, anyone can talk, anyone can react in anger, but very few have the emotional maturity to choose silence when it's hardest. When someone breaks your heart and leaves you with no closure, silence is mastery. When your family doubts your dreams and you don't argue but build in silence, that's power. When your friend betrays you and instead of returning the favor, you walk away quietly, that's self-respect. The world is full of noise, but the soul grows in silence. There's this woman I know who built her own company after her ex told her she'd be nothing without him. He mocked her, humiliated her, left her with debt. Everyone expected a public fight. But she went silent. She didn't make threats. She made moves. She worked 16-hour days, rebranded her identity, kept her circle tight. 3 years later, she's now sitting on stages, speaking to thousands. And guess who's in the audience with a regret in his eyes? Could this one, that man who said she'd fail? She didn't react. She just mastered the silence and let her success talk louder than any insult ever could. Sometimes your silence makes people panic. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't know if they've won or lost. It's unsettling for them because silence is a mirror. It reflects them back to themselves. They start questioning their own actions. That's the beauty of it. When you go quiet, they're forced to sit with the echoes of their own behavior. A woman once told me, every time I reacted, I ended up feeling worse. But the moment I started staying silent, I began feeling powerful. And that's real. Because silence doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you feel deeply, but you've chosen not to hand over your emotions to someone who doesn't deserve them. It means you've evolved beyond the need to be understood by everyone. You don't need the world to hear your side when you're busy living a life that makes noise on its own. Mastery is when someone says something cruel and you smile with your eyes. Mastery is when they leave you on red and you don't double text. Mastery is when people push you and you don't push back. You simply remove yourself from the battlefield because you know you're the prize. Silence is what happens when you realize that reacting is easy, but protecting your peace is sacred. And when peace becomes your priority, you heal faster in peace, not in drama. It sounds simple, but it's one of the most powerful truths you'll ever live. Because healing isn't just about time. It's about the environment. You can't expect your soul to mend if you're constantly sitting in chaos. If you're explaining yourself to people who don't listen. If you're arguing with people who enjoy your pain. If you keep opening wounds for the sake of closure, you'll never get. When you're caught in drama, constant texts, messy confrontations, shouting matches, stalking their socials to see if they've moved on, you think you're gaining control, but you're actually digging yourself deeper. You're not healing, you're recycling pain. You're not letting go. You're holding on tighter to something that's already done. The truth is, peace may feel boring at first, but it's where you finally breathe. It's where your heart stops racing. It's where the real you comes back. I knew a woman who was cheated on by the man she loved for 5 years. When she found out, he denied it, blamed her, gaslighted her. Everyone told her to expose him, confront the other girl, put it all on social media, but instead, she packed her bags, blocked his number, and left in silence. She moved cities, started journaling, prayed, meditated, didn't even check his socials once. A year later, she had her own business, glowing skin, and peace in her eyes. Meanwhile, he was still jumping from person to person, emotionally bankrupt. She healed in peace, not in drama. That was her revenge, her rebirth. Drama keeps you addicted to the wound. It gives you a false sense of aliveness. That rush, that intensity, that feeling of something is happening. But healing is often quiet. It's in the mornings when you make your bed, the evenings when you light a candle and read instead of texting them, the days when you cry, not because they hurt you, but because you're finally letting them go. And that's the part people don't romanticize, because healing isn't glamorous, it's raw, but it's real. Drama invites the opinions of others. It turns your pain into a public performance. And then suddenly, you're not even focused on your healing. You're focused on who agrees with you, who's validating you, who's taking your side. But peace is when you stop caring who knows what. When your energy is no longer spent trying to be understood. When you realize your healing is not a group project. You don't need an audience to outgrow the people who broke you. One man told me, I used to think that getting back at her would help me move on. So I kept texting, posting things she'd see, flirting with her friends just to make her jealous, and I was exhausted. I wasn't moving forward. I was stuck in a loop. He paused. Then, one day, I went silent. I deleted her number. I stopped talking about her. I started going to the gym, picked up boxing, and within 3 months, I felt like I was someone new. That's peace. That's where healing lives, in the absence of noise, not in the echoes of war. Healing in peace also means you're not rushing. You're not demanding yourself to get over it overnight. You're giving your heart space to feel, to break, and to rebuild. And no one's pulling you back into the mess. No one's questioning your growth. You're not defending why you left. You're not explaining your boundaries. You're just rising. Quietly, steadily, beautifully. Peace is the clean air your spirit needs after breathing in toxic energy. It's the soft bed your heart needs after sleeping on nails. It's the mirror that finally reflects the parts of you that drama made you forget. And when you heal in peace, you don't just move on. Your trauma made you forget. And when you heal in peace, you don't just move on. You evolve. You become someone who doesn't just survive the pain, but transforms because of it. Because peace doesn't just heal the wound, it teaches you never to go back to the place that broke you. Let karma be your spokesperson. Because sometimes the best revenge is no revenge, no reaction, just resilience. You don't have to chase closure. You don't have to correct the lies. You don't need to prove your worth to people who already chose to misunderstand you. The universe is a witness. Life has a perfect memory. And every seed that's planted, good or bad, grows when it's time. That's karma. Silent, patient, powerful. You don't have to clap back when someone disrespects you. You don't have to explain yourself when someone tries to ruin your name. You don't have to scream, look what they did to me. Let karma handle it. Because when you start pouring your energy into revenge, you start becoming like the people who hurt you. You start availing someone who called you an ass. You start becoming like the people who hurt you. You start constantly thinking about the people who hurt you. You start becoming like the people who hurt you. You start becoming like the people who hurt you. You start becoming like the people who hurt you. You start becoming like the people who hurt you. You start becoming like the people who hurt you. But when you rise in silence and let karma speak for you, that's when you become untouchable. I once met a woman who was betrayed by her business partner. They were like sisters, shared dreams, shared income, shared struggles. But jealousy crept in. The partner stole clients, redirected funds, and spread rumors that nearly ruined the woman's reputation. Everyone told her to sue, expose, retaliate. But she didn't. She said, I'll let God and karma do the talking. She focused on rebuilding, on healing. 2 years later, she was invited to speak on a global stage while the ex-partner filed for bankruptcy. That's karma. No need to shout. The truth always finds its way back. Think about it. The people who hurt you don't expect silence. They expect a show. They want drama. They want your reaction, your anger, your meltdown. Because when you react, they feel powerful. But when you go quiet and level up, you rob them of their control. You stop being the victim and become the storm. And karma? Karma delivers that poetic justice you couldn't have written better yourself. I knew a guy in college whose girlfriend cheated on him with his best friend. Brutal, right? Everyone waited for him to lose it, to fight, to make a scene, but instead he vanished from their lives without a single word. 4 years later, he was running a tech company, flying first class and thriving. Meanwhile, they were still stuck in the same toxic patterns. Someone asked him, "How did you get over it so easily?" And he smiled, "I didn't waste time trying to ruin them. I invested time trying to rebuild me." And karma did the rest. See, karma has no deadline, but it always delivers. It might not come when you expect it, but it always comes when it's deserved. When someone breaks your heart, lies on your name, don't curse them, just walk away with grace and let karma take notes. Because the same people who left you in the dark will one day look for your light and realize you became the sun. Let karma be your voice when you've been silenced. Let it be your shield when you're attacked. Let it be your justice when the world is unfair. Because you don't need to seek revenge on people who are already cursed by their character. Let them live with their choices. Let them walk in the echo of what they did to you. You rise. You shine. You move in silence and let the success speak volumes. There's power in restraint. Power in walking away. Power in knowing that your peace is louder than their chaos. When you stop trying to make them feel what you felt and start healing instead, karma gets to work. And it never misses. It may take months, even years, but one day they will remember how they made you feel. Not through your words, but through their own experiences. And by then, you'll be too far ahead to even care. Because the real flex isn't revenge. It's becoming everything they said you couldn't. And doing it without ever lowering your frequency. Let karma write the ending to the story they thought they controlled. Their actions are a reflection, not a definition. What someone does to you is not a mirror of who you are, it's a mirror of who they are. Their betrayal doesn't mean you were unworthy. Their disrespect doesn't mean you lacked value. Their silence doesn't mean you were too much. It means they couldn't meet you where you were. It means they were fighting battles you couldn't see, and rather than grow, they chose to project. You are not the insults they threw at you when they were angry. You are not the lies they spread when they couldn't face the truth. You are not the cold shoulder, the ghosting, the cheating, or the manipulation. You are who you choose to be in response to it. That's your power. That's your identity. What they did, that's on them. How you rise, that's on you. There was a woman who gave her all to a man who constantly made her feel small. She cooked, supported his dreams, loved him through his storms. Yet he called her too emotional, too sensitive, too clingy. He blamed her for everything. One day she realized his cruelty wasn't about her. It was about his fear of intimacy, his wounds from childhood, his fear of being seen. She stopped internalizing his pain and started healing her own. She finally understood. His behavior was his story, not her identity. And once she stopped taking it personally, she took her power back. In friendships too, people will let you down. They'll use you, envy you, compete with you, when all you wanted was to grow together. A girl once told me how her best friend suddenly cut her off the moment she started succeeding. At first she questioned herself. Was I bragging? Was I insensitive? Did I do something wrong? But the truth was, her growth made the friend confront their own stagnancy. It wasn't about her at all. Their withdrawal was a reflection of their insecurity, not her arrogance. The moment you stop taking someone's actions as a definition of your worth, you become emotionally untouchable. Someone walking away from you isn't proof that you're unlovable. It's proof they weren't capable of loving you in the way you needed. A person talking behind your back doesn't mean you're fake. It means they lack the courage to confront their feelings. The concept is this. When someone says the words boss ticket, it means they like you. The word boss doesn't fit with your name. It means you are worth so much more than a boss. It means they like you. The word boss doesn't fit with your name. It means you are worth so much more than a boss. It means the life they live. A partner cheating on you doesn't make you not enough. It reveals their lack of self-control and self-respect. You are not defined by how people mishandle you. You are defined by how you rise after they do. This shift in thinking is transformational. It breaks the chains of self-doubt. It stops the loop of replaying their words in your mind. You start seeing yourself clearly again, not through the lens of rejection or judgment, but through the truth of who you are. When someone says, "You're too loud," maybe they just fear being heard. When someone calls you too much, maybe they haven't learned how to hold depth. When someone says, "You'll never be enough," maybe they haven't even begun to meet themselves. Let people show you who they are, but never let them tell you who you are. There's a difference. And if you don't understand that difference, you'll spend your life adjusting yourself for people who are only projecting their pain. Your job isn't to fix their reflection, it's to protect your definition. Because your light is not dim just because they chose to wear blindfolds. Your love is not less just because they couldn't receive it. You are not what they did to you. You are what you do next. You are not their abandonment. You are your resilience. You are not their insult. You are your inner voice that whispers, "I still choose to grow." That whisper, that's the real you. And the more you listen to it, the less noise their actions will ever make. Level up, don't clap back. Because nothing hits harder than your silence paired with success. You see, anyone can react. Anyone can throw words, fire off a text, post a cryptic message, or scream their pain in a room full of people. But it takes a different kind of power, a queen's power, to turn that energy inward and rise, to say nothing and let your glow do the talking. You don't have to prove a point when your life becomes the proof. People will underestimate you, mock you, gossip about you, and even betray you. Don't waste your time trying to correct every lie, respond to every insult, or teach people how to treat you. They already knew what they were doing. The lesson isn't for them, it's for you. When someone shows you their colors, don't reach for paint, reach for your crown. Let them talk, let them doubt, and while they're watching, you work. You teach them. You teach them to look at you as if you did not come. You torch them. You work. You teach 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 them. You work. While they're mocking, you evolve. While they're clapping back at ghosts, you build an empire. I remember a woman who got cheated on by a fiancé weeks before their wedding. Public embarrassment, family whispers, friends divided. Everyone expected her to lash out, to drag his name through the mud. But instead, she packed her bags, cancelled the wedding, and used the money to start a business. 2 years later, she was on magazine cover, no expose, no social media war, just silence and success. And that success spoke so loud, even his guilt couldn't hide from it. In another story, a young man was bullied in high school, called names, mocked for his dreams of being an artist. They laughed at his sketches, tore up his notebooks, and told him he'd never make it. He could have fought back. Instead, he vanished into his craft. 10 years later, those same people were standing in line at a gallery where his art was selling for thousands. One of them whispered, "He never even said a word to us after school." That's because he didn't need to. His level up became the loudest response. People expect you to react because they want to believe they still have control over your emotions. They want to feel powerful enough to disturb your peace. But when you choose growth over gossip, progress over petty, elegance over ego, they lose access. You strip them of their weapon, your reaction. You rise so high, their energy can't reach you. That's power. That's real revenge. That's leveling up. When someone disrespects you and you choose to go quiet, not out of fear, but out of wisdom, that's when you start rewriting your story. Don't clap back at the ex who betrayed you. Show them what peace looks like when it's not begging for closure. Don't respond to the friend who turned fake. Let them watch you flourish without needing their applause. Don't argue with the coworker who tried to dim your light. Just keep shining until their insecurity burns in your brightness. Leveling up means healing instead of hurting. It means choosing discipline over drama. It means saying, "I'm not here to fight, I'm here to fly." Every time you resist the urge to react, you build a deeper foundation. And trust me, when your time comes, and it will, the same people who try to break you will have to watch you from the shadows they created. So the next time someone throws shade, don't throw it back. Plant yourself in it and grow. Water your soul. Feed your goals. Smile in silence. Because one day, when you walk into a room, the energy will shift. Not because you demanded it, but because you became it. You became what they never believed you could be. And that's louder than any clapback will ever be. When someone hurts you, don't let their chaos become your identity. You are not here to react, you are here to rise. Because queens don't explain their worth, lions don't roar back at barking dogs, and eagles don't fly with pigeons. When they throw dirt, you build empires. When they spit fire, you breathe grace. You are not in this world to trade energy. You were never meant to live at the mercy of people's opinions. You were born to set the standard, to teach the world how strength looks in silence, to show them that grace under fire is not surrender, it's royalty. The day you stop trying to correct every misconception is the day you start walking in your divine truth. You don't need to announce your glow up. Just walk in the room and let the energy bow. You are not revenge, you are redemption. You are not bitterness, you are boundaries. You are not the noise they are. You are the echo of every woman who ever rose after being underestimated. And when they ask how you did it without shouting, tell them, I was too busy building a life they can only whisper about. Remember this. Kings and queens don't step off their throne to address every insult from the crowd. Royalty doesn't explain, it ascends. When someone breaks your heart, don't appreciate the second abundance like it did for you. IIPL, I have a great abundance inside me like a gem that if a lesser, a minion, ahase, your life, scream, build a kingdom with the pieces. When someone underestimates your light, don't argue, blind them with the brilliance of your transformation.